Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's session. We have Navaneethan today. Navaneethan is a principal data scientist at Ingram Micro. He's having 13 plus years of experience in analytics, machine learning, end-to-end market research, and also has conducted various customer experience programs. He's a good friend of mine, and he's very well part of different communities, and he shares his knowledge, and he is very enthusiastic to share his knowledge to people. So today, Navanithan is here to talk about machine learning, using Azure machine learning in Jupyter Notebook. Navanithan, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you, Dinesh. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. Hello, all. Good morning. Thanks for joining us today. It's on the weekend, and I will try to keep up the engagement. And also, would be great if you guys post your comments and all, so that we can have the session more interactive. So before joining the session, I would like to know about the audience. Say, for example, what is your expectation on this session, or your role and experience, so that I can plan my session. Then I can start the session. Uh, Before that, let me share my screen. Okay. Hope you guys are able to see my screen.
Yes, Navanithan, we are able to see the screen.
Okay. Thank you.
You can comment in the YouTube chat. We'll be able to interpret it, and we'll take it up at the right time.
Yep,
Please
definitely.
confirm whether the audio and video is clear. Rahul, Vishwas, Relax, or someone in the YouTube chat.
Probably, can we wait for 1 minute, Dinesh, to
Sure,
have
sure.
more participants?
Yeah.
Yeah. In the meantime, I will also share the link. So probably, I will share one link there. I'm asking a few questions. So probably, I will post it in the comment. Dinesh, in comments, I'm unable to post it.
Yeah, you can ping me in the private chat now. Then I'll post it in the.
Sure. So this is a small Slido app. There, I'm starting the first question. What is your takeaway for this session? Accordingly, we can plan. Is it asking the code, Dinesh, or
No, no. I think as a user, people should be able to answer. I have posted it in the chat. People should be able to see it.
okay? I don't. Oh,
Okay, seems the link is not working. Let me check it
any
myself.
error it is?
Let me present an answer by.
Uh,
Are you able to see my answer,
yes,
Navaneethan? Okay. I think the link is
yes,
working. Yeah, I think the link is working, Sai. Could you please try the link in? Okay, it is with the. Okay, let me repost it. I think that please answer has appeared along with the link. Could you please try now, Sai?
okay.
Okay.
So far, people are interested to get to know about the Azure ML integration in Power BI. Maybe we'll wait for a minute, Dinesh. Otherwise, I will jump into the session. If the
Yeah.
link, like, I guess the link is working fine, right?
Yeah, yeah. Link is working fine.
Okay. Okay. Okay, probably we'll jump into the session. The link will be open. People can answer it. So based on their response, I can take the session accordingly. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so already Dinesh gave me the introduction for me, and probably I will give bit more about it. So yes, currently I'm working in Ingram Micro as a principal data scientist, and I have around 13 years of experience and 3 years in cloud, say Azure technologies. Past 3 years I'm working, and I'm learning day by day, and I'm part of the community, Azure developer community. And I should say thank you to Dinesh and Karthikeyan, because through them only I got to know about the communities, and I was attending their past events. And even I should remember that Karthikeyan given one session on how to be a technical speaker, and I have given him the commitment that I should give more talks. So probably to their community itself, I'm giving a talk today, and I'm very happy about it. And other than that, I'm Microsoft certified in Azure and AI engineer, and also I'm pursuing the next certifications as well. Probably this year plan to have more certifications. And here I have added my LinkedIn and Twitter. You can reach out to me, and also if you have any questions or any suggestions, please reach out to me. And also I will try to keep the pace slow, because I feel the session is for beginners. And also I'm not seeing the comments, so Dinesh, if someone is posting the questions, maybe 10 minutes once we can take the questions. And also please stop me at any time. And yeah, so the today agenda, we are going to see about the Azure Cognitive Services. So in Azure Cognitive Services, what are all the features are there? For example, entity extraction or sentiment analysis, language detection. So these are all the different features available in Azure Cognitive Services. In that, we are seeing only language specific activities, because cognitive services is giving different services as well. But we are focusing fully on language services in the today session. And also I will give my learnings, for example, what are all the resources I have used to learn, and how I prepared for my certification. So those things also I can talk in this session. So yeah, so the requirements for this session, so most of the slides and the demo I have kept it as a beginner level. But even though if you have some basic understanding in Python programming and NLP, it will be very good. Even if people don't have experience in NLP, I will try to cover it if time permits. For example, in Azure ML, whatever the analysis we are going to do, everything is taken care by Azure itself. So in the background, how it is working, so that also I will try to show. For example, say I said last 3 years I'm exploring Azure ML. So before that, how I was doing text analytics. For example, in Python itself, we have separate packages like NLTK or Stanford NLP. So by using that packages, how I was doing text analytics. So I will try to experiment that as well. So if you plan to participate in the demo, I request you to have Azure account. You can create a free account. It may ask your credit card, and also please install Jupyter Notebook and Python 3. And also at the end, I'm going to show how we can have Azure integration in Power BI. So if you have Power BI also, you can. It will be good. And finally, yes, we don't need any machine learning experience because in this session, mostly we are going to use the defined codes or the setup. So I will explain step by step. We can go through in that. Okay, so yes, Azure Cognitive Services. Probably in the previous slide I spoke, we have different services. So before that, how Azure Cognitive Services is helping us. So I mentioned that before Azure ML, how I was doing text analytics. So that time I should have the training data set, and I should train the model. For example, if I'm doing sentiment analysis, I'm happy, so that I should tag as a positive. I'm not happy, tag it as a negative. So like that, I need to give the data set and train the model. So based on that, I can create the model. However, in Azure ML, so Microsoft itself taking care that side. So by using Azure Cognitive Services, we are making our application or our thing smarter by using their knowledge. And in it, there are five different services are there. So the first one is vision. So vision, it's more on image or face recognition. So that we are using that service. So probably in your mobile, by seeing your face, it is allowing to enter into the mobile, or having some other detection. For example, image classification. So those things and all will come in vision services. And the next one is speech services. So speech, I guess everyone is familiar with it. Probably in your mobile itself, you are using Google thing search. If you are telling search something, automatically it is detecting your voice, and it is going into browser and search and giving the results. So vice versa, we have Alexa. So some probably if you have Alexa device, it is helping you to play a song or give some service using voice. So that also another cognitive services. And in today's session, we are going to see the language services. So in language services, there are different types there. Say, for example, Q&A maker or text analytics translator. So these and all we are going to see in our today's session. And the fourth service is decision service. So this is like, for example, some credit card fraud is happening, some anomaly is happening. So how to detect it, or you want to define some contents. So for using those things, you can use decision services. And finally, search services. I guess on a day-to-day activities, we are using search thing daily in terms of Google or Bing search. So for example, if you want to search some news or video, so we are using it. So if you want to integrate that service, we can use search module that is from cognitive services. So these are all the different services available in Azure ML. Any questions so far, Dinesh? Okay, I will take it as no, and I will continue the session. So, what are all the Azure Cognitive Services? Like I mentioned, so already the data set or the modules, so everything is given by Microsoft. Microsoft is trained lots of data, and they are trying to give it as a ready-made intelligence. For example, if I'm giving some comment, it will help me to detect whether it is positive or negative, which language it is, what topic they are talking about. So that thing Azure is helping us to do. So easily we can integrate that in our applications, or in your project you want to do some module for text analytics, we can use these services. And another important thing is these services are very easy to integrate. For example, in my day-to-day activities, for example, I'm having a customer analytics data. Say, for example, my company is a distribution company, so we are delivering the products to our partners. So while delivering the product, we may collect some feedback. So whether we satisfied their delivery or product, so those things we are getting from them. So on a day-to-day basis, we are collecting n number of data. Uh, I can say it is in GBs. So by reading each comment, whether what customer is telling, so it is very tough. So we have to automate that process. By getting the comment, I should know whether they are telling positive about the service or negative, or what if they are telling positive, on what topic they are telling. Say for example, they are happy with the delivery, but they are not happy with the product. So on which topic they are telling, so those things I need to capture. So in that case, I can use this Azure ML to do it. And also, as I mentioned, some personalized recommendation, or if you are having a contact center, how we can automate it. So all those things we can use these services. And finally, if you plan to use AI services, you don't need any machine learning experience. Just you can use their service, and you can get the output. We are going to see that's about Azure Cognitive Services. And finally, why we are using Microsoft Cognitive Services, maybe it is bit related to the previous slide. It is very easy to integrate. If you are familiar with the REST APIs and all, we can just get the key from Azure, and we can build it. So that is the very convenient part about these services. And also, by adding 4 to 5 lines of code, you can achieve your requirement. And it is flexible. So probably the web developers face this problem. So when they are creating some code, it may work in Windows, or probably browser specific. If we go, it will work in Chrome. It may not in Edge or some other browser. So they have to write browser specific code, or OS specific code. But when we are using these services, uh, it will be com- uh, it will be compact in all the devices or all the browsers. And also they have already tested in different things. So we can trust the thing. And also, for example, I'm a Python, I knew Python, so they are giving that language specific setup also. For example, as far I know, say some other person have knowledge only in Java or .NET, so they are giving a language specific thing also, so easily can integrate. So in that way, it is not language dependent also. So that is the best part to use this service. And finally, like I mentioned, I need to train the data set, and I'm getting some output out of it. But that time we don't know the quality of the output. But when we are using Azure ML, so these and all tested by experts, and probably built by the experts and tested very well. So you can trust the output. And finally, if you plan to learn these things, the documentations are pretty good. And the community support, or the sample code, everything is very good. And probably within a month, you can jump into these services and start learning. And also, probably after today's session, you can create your own services. Okay, let me move on.
Navneet, sorry to interrupt.
Yes, Dinesh.
Okay. Can you please click the hide in that banner? Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, let me move on. And finally, we have some do's and don'ts as well. So, for example, when you are using Azure resources or services, I request you to check the cost associated with that service, because for using the service, you have to pay. So, for example, unknowingly, if you are creating some services and if you miss to delete or deactivate, it will cost you more. So, for example, today the language services for text analytics each hit how much they are charging, or if you are doing some sentiment analysis, how much they are charging. So, I request you to check those things. And also, whenever you are done with your project or your demo, please clean the resources. For example, if you are not using that, please delete it or deactivate it, so that you will not be charged. And finally, the keys and all, please don't share it with others. That is the safest thing. Okay, I guess I'm done with the thing. Probably let's jump into the demo.
Navneethan,
Yes,
Chaitanya,
Dinesh.
Chaitanya has mentioned a word. Can you please?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah, definitely, Chaitanya. For example, without Azure ML, how we can do it? I will jump in that also. Definitely, we'll do it, Chaitanya. So before going into the demo, I would like to show some thing from Microsoft, which is very good. I guess you guys are able to see my Jupyter notebook page. Probably can give a thumbs up, or Dinesh.
Yes, able to see the Jupyter
Okay,
notebook.
great, great. Thank you. Okay, so today in the session, what we are going to do, say for example, in this one page, they covered it everything. Say already they have some comments, but I will take it from some text itself. So probably I will take about 1 minute. Probably, I believe you people are watching cricket matches. So I will take that India tour of South Africa data. Probably some paragraph I will take it. Just a minute. Actually, the match was not good for India. Yeah, so probably I'll take Rahul, Captain Rahul comments. So here, like I'm giving this comment. So it is about Deepak gave us a real chance. So player who played and what is the disappointment or the positive thing. So let's analyze it. So what Rahul said in that his speech and about the series. So I'm just giving analyze it. So in it, the first thing, the sentiment and the key phrases thing, we are seeing it. So overall, some I can say it is a positive sentiment, because we are getting some 84% as a positive thing. So in it, some of the key phrases are like Deepak, real chance, exciting game, batsman. So these are all the key phrases from his speech, skill, ODI. So these things today we are going to see in the demo. So how we can do this in Python, and even as Chaitanya asked, I will show you out of Azure ML also. So once this is done, let's see what are all the entities are coming. Yeah, so the entities, as I mentioned earlier, so the similar thing only, Deepak, real chance. So these and all as a entity. So entity means based on some sentence what are all the key things they are talking about. And the next thing may not be useful. So in our services we saw the search thing, right? So if you are giving it, so it will search the content in Bing search. Say for example, it mentioned about Deepak, so it is giving the result about Deepak Chopra. This may not be a relevant one. So vice versa, South Africa country or CSA, probably the Cricket Board of South Africa. So these information are searching from search thing. Maybe this may not be relevant to us. So these things today we are going to see. For example, we are going to give some content, how whether it is positive or negative, and the key phrases we are going to, and also the language detection also we are going to do. And I will try to give a use case also how we are using it in our company and projects. I will try to give as much as information. Okay. So the next thing is, in the presentation I mentioned it about the pricing. So I will share this notebook after the session. So here it asks the information about the pricing. For example, I have taken only for language service pricing. So for each service, how much they are charging us. So here you can select the regions. So probably if you have used AWS or Azure, the services are provided by region wise. For example, if you are using East US service, how much it will cost us, whether it is in USD or INR. So that you can see it. So if you are using a web container, in the instance web container, if you are using sentiment analysis, around 5,000 text records are free per month. However, if you are using that standard web container, for example, 0 to zero point 0.5 million text records, uh, sorry, yeah, $1 per 1,000 records. So always whenever you are using Azure or AWS services, please check the cost associated to that, so that you can plan your budget. And also whenever you are implementing that in your project, like as a data scientist, if you are using open source technologies, we don't need to bother about the cost. But when you plan to use some auto ML, say Azure or AWS or any other services, always check the cost associated, so that you can plan your budget. So that is about the another thing. And finally, in the session I mentioned that, for example, if a Python person, they can, it's a language specific services we have, right? So in this link you can see it. For example, if it is a C sharp, how you can integrate it, like you will have the code sample, vice versa for other languages as well, if it is a Python or JavaScript. So today's session I'm going to check in Python. So for example, how to install a package, the library, and also how to pass the keys. So these things and all we are going to see today. If you're dependent on some other language, for example, I'm aware of Java, so you can play with this thing. And before that, you need to create your Azure subscription. If you haven't created so far, it's a free one, you can create it. And so today session for Python, so Python 3 I have already installed and I have Azure subscription. And we need to create the language resource in Azure subscription, that I will show you. Okay. So probably I'll see if any questions. Yes, yes, Imran. We get $200 for the first month, and you have to give your credit card. So probably I started in that way. Later, we are having some free services also. You can use that. Okay. Okay. I guess as Chaitanya mentioned, I have some other text also. So this notebook I created without Azure ML. So without Azure ML, for example, before Azure ML, how I was using text analytics, and also now also in some projects I'm using it. For example, if I don't want to spend some money on it, or for some testing purpose, I can use this thing. So probably I will walk through this for some 10 minutes, then we can jump into the Azure ML part. Yes. So already, as I mentioned in the session, so if you have some basic understanding about NLP, it will be very good to follow the session. But we'll try to cover as much as possible. So as NLP, it is a part of data science, and here we are doing some analysis on the text. So as you guys are aware, nowadays data is everything. So for example, if you are buying some product in Amazon, at the end you will ask how is your delivery experience, or how is your product experience. Or if you are visiting a supermarket, maybe a supermarket, they are not collecting data, but some of the stores, they are sending a link. For example, you are ordering some food in Swiggy or Zomato. After that, they are asking some feedback. And also they are using some bot services also. For example, to reduce the manpower, when you are asking or getting some question, so first initial setup will be come from the bot itself, and it will try to solve your problem. If it is unable to handle, then it will transfer it to the human. So all these things are based on NLP. Through NLP, we can solve lots of problems. For example, whatever the services we saw in Azure, speech, sentiment, I mean language, or other things, image. So all these things, but maybe image will not come in NLP. But in terms of this problem, we are going to see some sentiment analysis or topic modeling. Okay, so here I'm showing the pipeline. So for example, I'm getting some raw text. So in that, I may have some stop words. So stop words, we will see what are all the stop words. And if it has some URL or punctuation, we need to remove that. Once that is done, we need to do the tokenization. In the below, we will see what is tokenization, lemmatization, and stemming. So all these things we will see in the below. And once that is done, we will create some regular expression or lookup tables to match the data. Say, for example, if someone is talking about some topic, how many times they spoke, whether they spoke positively or negatively. So once that is done, we will get the final cleaned text. So this is the pipeline to do it. When you are using Azure ML, you don't need to bother about anything. You are giving a raw text, it will tell you which language it is, or which topic it is, or whether it is positive or negative. But if you are not using that thing, you have to do all these things on your own. Okay, so probably I will take that Rahul example itself here as well. Okay, so so first I'm assigning a variable, and I'm passing this text. So this is the command from Rahul, and I'm trying to split the word. Okay, so that is first thing. And the next thing is I'm just removing some pre-processing I'm doing. For example, removing something. So if I run it, so here, it is just splitting the word. Deepak gave us. So the complete thing here, I'm just showing only 30 thing. So it is showing only 30. In the bottom, it is showing 15. So here, both are same thing only. Just it is removing some additional special characters. So this is the way to start. Then I'm maybe I'll see if I have, okay, no questions. So then I'm just going into pre-processing. So I have some text. I need to do some pre-processing. Like as I mentioned here, find the stop words and remove URLs or punctuations. So all these things we need to do. So the first thing is I'm importing a package called NLTK. So we have different packages. Maybe I will talk about that as well. So these are all the different NLP libraries available. For example, scikit-learn for machine learning, and this NLTK, I'm using it today. This is the toolkit to work on the NLP thing, natural language processing. And finally, pattern, you can use it to do some web mining thing. And Spacey or Gensim or Stanford Core NLP. So these are all the different libraries. So currently I'm using NLTK. Okay, so I will move on. So here I'm just taking the package NLTK, and I'm importing some packages. For example, tokenized package, and also text. So these are all the packages I'm importing for my processing. So the first thing what I'm doing, I'm just trying to make it as a lowercase. So whatever the text I'm giving here, I'm converting everything into lowercase. So that is the initial step. Once that is done, I'm replacing the punctuations. So if any punctuations are there, I'm just trying to replace it. And if something is not alphabetic, so that also I'm removing it. So these are all the step by step. So for example, if you are doing some text pre-processing, so these are all the steps we need to do. And finally I'm removing the stop words as well. Let's see what are all the stop words. Probably I will share this notebook also after the session. Okay. Okay, 1 minute. I didn't run this thing itself. So, for example, these and all coming as a stop words. For example, don't. Probably this is from the NLTK package itself. These are all the stop words in English. So we are removing all these words when we are processing the text. So the above I have already ran it. So here I have converted the text into lowercase and replaced the punctuations and also removed the alphabetics. So after doing it, say for example, this is step by step we are getting it. And finally, after removing all these things, so this is the final text I'm getting. So Deepak gave us, so these things we are getting it. Okay, so we have already seen the stop words. Now let's go into the part of speech tags. Say for example, each word what they are talking about, and also whether it is noun or verb. So that thing also we are going to tag it. So let's see it. So for example, so these are all the words we have taken. Here, Deepak, it is coming as a noun. Gave, it is a verb. And us, proposition, I guess. So real, chance, again noun. So in this way, whatever the words are there, it is giving the tagging, part of speech tagging. It is giving it. So this is useful for the next steps. So we are going to do stemming and lemmatization. So for that, I'm just giving these things. So once that is done, then we are just passing this text into stemming and lemmatization. So for doing a stemming, it's a bit complex thing because removing some of the word may what to say, it may remove the meaning also. So anyway we are using NLTK to do the stemming. So the package will take care those things. So here also the same thing, I'm just importing NLTK. In this I'm taking the package called porter stemmer, and just I'm passing whatever the word I have, that I'm passing into the stemming thing. So let's see what's coming. So for example, the above we got Deepak gave us real and all. So here, this is the before word, and after stemming, sometimes it may add things also. For example, chance, quite, exciting. So these things and all are taking the actual word. Probably any questions so far? Okay, no. So when you are doing Azure ML, all these things you don't need to bother. Like in the demo we saw, right? Just I'm pausing the text and it is giving me the keywords or the sentiment thing, but here we need to do all these things. So we have done with the stemming and lemmatization. So once that is done, then we need to create a term matrix, the term document matrix for indexing and searching. So for example, which word is first? Say for example, in this example I'm giving say three different sentences. So in it, for example, career, it is not present in the first sentence. However, data is present in the first sentence. So if it is present, it is one. Uh, for example, how many times it is present, based on that it is coming. For example, the sentence, how many times it is in the, sorry, a word, how many times it is in the sentence. For example, in the second sentence, career is coming twice. So it is coming as a twice. The only problem with this, so it will work for if you have less text. If you are going for a paragraph things and all, having a term document matrix, it will work, but it may be a time consuming or it may take more time. So here I'm just importing a pandas thing, and also from scikit-learn, the future extraction text in it, I'm just taking the count vectorizer. So this is helping me to count the words. So let's run it. Okay, so here, for example, each thing, how many times it is coming. So that is the output. So once that is done, we are going into the next model thing. So this is a TF-IDF. So this is the term frequency. TF means term frequency, and IDF is inverse document frequency. So this is also similar to the previous thing. So each word, how many times it's coming. So we are trying to convert the text thing to vector models. So that we are trying to get each occurrence of the word or how many times it occurs. So based on that, we can go with the topic modeling thing. Probably this is the formula, but you can check that. And finally, once that is done, we are taking that TF-ID, which is term frequency and inverse document frequency. So the good part in Python is we have n number of libraries. In scikit-learn, all these things are available, so you can just import and use it. So here, let me run it. So here, for example, Rogan, which place it is coming, and how many times it's coming. So all these things are coming. So for example, 1 minute. So based on the availability, it is giving some ranking. So once that is done, we can go to the classification thing. So classification, so it is a machine learning technique. So it is assigning some categories to the text. For example, customer is talking about some product, so it will tag about the product. So this is very basic in natural language processing. By having the text classification, we are creating like sentiment analysis or topic labeling, even spam detection and all. We are using this approach. The best example is Gmail. Say for example, when you are receiving a mail, it is automatically tagging primary, social, promotions and all. So they are using this text classification for the same. Okay, maybe yes, I that it is advisable to do stemming and lemmatization. Uh, it's a it's a step-by-step process, so it's always advisable to do both. Okay, and finally here I'm giving a text classification based on naive Bayes classifier. So here this is I'm using it for sentiment analysis. So if you remember the session, in the beginning of the session, I was telling about training the model, right? So for example, you should have the training data set to get the output. So here I'm training the corpus. Say for example, here I'm using the text blob library. In that this packages, these two packages I'm using it. So the training data set I'm giving, like I'm really exact state with similar work. I'm giving as a negative statement. So I can't operate with the key. So I'm giving it as a negative. Vice versa, this is a brilliant place. So I'm tagging this as a positive. I do not like this cycle. I'm giving it as a negative. So this I'm giving it as a test data set, sorry, train data set. And also I want to test something. So always we will go with a 60-40 or 70-30 when we are segregating the training and test data set. So here I just, for example, I have given it, and I'm creating the model. Okay, so let me run it. So while doing it, so the model accuracy, for example, so this data set, how it is classifying the text based on the training data set. So I'm getting the accuracy of 83%. So which is good. Generally, with the live data set, we may not get more accuracy, but still we are getting it. And here their codes are excellent. I'm trying to classify this text. It is coming as a positive, and I don't like their computer. It is coming as a negative. So let's try Rahul example here. Oh, sorry, 1 minute. Probably if you guys want to test something, you can send your comment also in the chat. I can take and give it for the text classification. Say for example, I'm giving this Rahul text here. So if you remember, in Azure ML, it came as a positive 84%. But even though with my model, it is coming as a negative. So this is the example. Maybe even though the model accuracy gave 83%, but the classification maybe, but the model, for example, it is having disappointment, losing side, so and also something gone wrong. So based on this, the train data set, if it is really exhausted or worst enemy, so this and all I tagged as a negative. So that's why we have more negative words. So automatically it is coming as a negative sentiment. So we will see all these things in the Azure ML as well. Probably if you guys want to test some word, you can pause it. I can check it in this model. And one more thing I should tell. So while you are doing it, like for example, you are getting some language. For example, the customer is from China or some other country, non-English speaking country. So they are giving the comment in that way. Probably let's take that example also. Okay, probably let's not take. Okay, just I'm taking some Hindi text. I don't know what it is. So I'm just trying to give in my model. Okay, so anyway, it is coming as a positive, but I don't know about it. Let's see what actually it is. The problem is when we are doing okay, actually, it is not positive or negative. It's a neutral sentiment actually. But even though the model is predicting as a positive thing, so generally how we approach this problem. So before Azure ML, we was using Google translation services. I'm not sure you people are aware of Google API. So Google is providing some services. For example, the translation, we can use it as a API service. So what we do, we will pause all the other languages. First, we will identify which language it is. So if it is English or Tamil or other language, we will try to get the language code. So based on that, we will convert this language into English. Then we will do all this analysis, text processing, so that we can do the analysis. But when you are using Azure ML, it is supporting multiple languages also. So you can simply pause the other languages and it will tell you whether it is positive or negative. So here also it written positive, but even though the result is not good. For example, here the translation is coming. So this is another advantage in Azure ML. Okay, and also these are all the other important NLP libraries. And recently I'm exploring PyCaret NLP. So it is also similar to it's auto ML thing. This is very good actually. You can check this PyCaret tutorials. You can try this NLP thing. It is very good. You can try it. Maybe in this way we are doing NLP, like without Azure ML. This is the way to do text analytics. Probably I covered very less, and also I have gone through bit fast because the session is more on Azure ML, and we are almost done with some 40 minutes. So we will jump into Azure ML. Maybe I will open for some questions. Yes, yes, Chait. Okay, maybe how does it handle sarcastic sentences? Okay, Ranajit, maybe sarcastic. I don't have experience. Maybe I will check it and let you know. But if you remember in Google itself, I used to see some LinkedIn or Twitter post. Some people criticize the Google translation accuracy or some other company translation or that analysis itself. Even in your Gmail classification also, sometimes it may incorrect wrongly also. So far, I didn't try the sarcastic thing, but I will try it and let you know. And Chaitanya, yes, you are right. So always the model output based on train and test data set actually. So and train data set is sorry, but the intention of train data set is positive, we will get negative on it. That is not the way. Say, for example, the model accuracy to check it. Say, for example, you have 100 comments. Out of 100 comments, you are giving to the model 60 comments to train the model. So once you train the model, you need to find the accuracy of that model. For that, you are giving as a test thing. So for example, actually the 61st comment, it is negative. You are passing that to the model, whether it is predicting positive or negative. So if it is positive, it is not predicting correctly. Probably for that, we need to go in detail. So we have some model evaluation techniques and all. So we have some ROC curve or some other features. By using it, we will see the model accuracy. So train data set, for that purpose, we are using it. And the output is based on the train data set. Okay. Okay. Probably I will jump into the Azure ML part. So as I mentioned, so the first thing, you have to create a Azure subscription.
Now, even, would you like to have a break or can we continue?
No problem, Dinesh. Actually, I planned to say more than 1 hour for Azure ML, so I will continue
Okay,
if
okay, man.
participants are fine.
Okay.
Okay,
Actually, we have a friend from a community, Navaneethan, named Senthil. He would like
okay,
to give a 1 minute talk about a Kubernetes conference. Uh,
okay, sure,
okay, I'll come back after checking with him, and
sure,
would add him to the panel, and he would give a 2 minutes intro. Maybe at that time, if you want, you can take a break.
sure, definitely.
Okay, okay, thanks.
Thank you, Dinesh. Maybe Chaitanya asked just like how we got in Rahul example, there was a difference in Azure ML. Yes, always because the Azure ML probably the train and test data set it is more. For example, it is more like to kid. You are showing say 100 different red color object and 100 after 100 times if you are asking, it will easily say that is a red color object, but you are showing only two or three, and you are showing different colors, so it is not the kid may find difficulty to say it. Similar way to model, we are training something. So for example, if you are getting this command, this is positive. If you are getting this is negative. So when you are giving more trained data set, the accuracy will be good. As Azure ML, they have plenty of data, and they train the data set well. So the output and accuracy is good always. Okay, so this is Azure portal. So I have already created the keys and all, and the subscription also. Probably I will show you how we can create it. So
Navneethan,
yes,
can I jump into now
yeah,
for
yeah,
two
sure,
minutes?
sure.
Is it
I'll be on
okay?
mute.
I'll I'll add Sendil.
Sure, Dinesh. Thank you.
Okay, Sendil, are you there?
Hi Dinesh, can you hear me?
Yes, Sendil, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Dinesh, for having me here today. And by the way, thank you, Navaneet, for the wonderful session that is going on. By the way, I'll not take much of your time. Uh, I would take hardly 4 to 5 minutes. Before that, I let me share my screen. Okay, all right. Okay, so before I get into the reason why I sort of barged into this meetup is I am actually organizing a community event in Chennai along with some of my co-organizers. And this event is actually called as Kubernetes Community Days Chennai. And by the way, if you see here, this is the website of Kubernetes Community Days Chennai. And Kubernetes Community Days are actually sponsored and supported by Cloud Native Community Foundation, which is called as CNCF. And they actually conduct Kubernetes Community Days. They actually support Kubernetes Community Days across the globe at various locations. For instance, if you see, currently there are active KCD events being planned or being run in various cities across the globe. And this time around in 2022, we have teamed up together to host the Kubernetes Community Days here in Chennai as well. Okay, so I am the lead organizer of Kubernetes Community Days, and along with me, Mani. I think some of you might know Mani. Mani is the organizer of CNC Chennai, so he is also part of the organizing team. And luckily, we have Azure User Group Chennai partnering with us as a community partner for Kubernetes Community Days Chennai. Okay, so thank you so much, guys, for partnering with us for promoting the Kubernetes Community Days Chennai. To give you an overview of what this event is all about, it's going to be a 2-day virtual event happening on the 3rd of June as well as on the 4th of June. So we plan to host it as two half a day events, half a day of 3rd June and half a day of 4th June. And it will have two keynote speakers. So on the first day, we will have a first keynote. On the second day, also we will have another keynote, and then we will have a list of talks from various members. And these talks will be primarily from people in and around Chennai, but it is also open to people in India as well as people in neighboring countries as well. So the CFP for KCD Chennai, it will open up mid of next month. We will make an announcement for that in our social media accounts. and this is going to be a very useful event around Kubernetes as well as cloud native, and we are planning to host talks on new technologies that are coming up in the horizon. For instance, technologies like WebAssembly, technologies like eBPF, and maybe a couple of talks on chaos engineering. These are all very hot technology trends that are even talked about and being adopted in various organizations. So I very much believe that this event will be useful to guys like you as well, who are focused on Azure and who have a wide variety of skills and interests. So I urge you to go and register here. I will just leave the link of this event in the StreamYard and the YouTube chat. So take a look at this website and register for this event. And you will also see all our social media accounts mentioned here. So if interested, you can also follow us on our social media, and you can be up to date on what's happening. Okay, that's it, guys. That's all I wanted to talk to you. So thank you so much once again for partnering with us. Thanks for giving me this slot to talk to you. Thank you. Thank you, Dinesh. Over to you.
Okay. You're welcome, Senthil. Thanks for letting the community know about the conference as well. So Navaneethan, are you there?
Yeah, yes, Dinesh.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you,
So
Dinesh.
please
Thanks a lot.
take over the stage. Yeah.
Sure. Let me share my screen again. So probably I want to show another thing. So before starting the session, I was asking about the takeaway from the session. So for five members answered, and so most of them wants to know more about Azure ML and the integration with Power BI. So these are all the things. Definitely, I will try to cover it. So, and also this is the example of the word cloud based on the comment. So which thing, for example, the Azure topic mentioned by many participants, or the problems or integration. So that is coming in a big text. For example, the frequency is less, it is coming in lower case. So this is the good example. That's why I asked you to fill this link. Okay, okay, fine. Yeah, so let's jump into creating a resource and language services. So I have already created a resource. So this is nothing but a subscription. So I'm going to use this subscription for the today session. Then I'm going to create a language services. Say, for example, the session is about cognitive services. So here in cognitive services, if you remember, we spoke different services. Say, for example, anomaly detector or content moderator or personalizer. So this is coming in decision, and the language one we are going to use. So the purpose of it, extract the meaning from unstructured text. So that is what we are going to do. And all these services, maybe Q&A maker we are not going to do. We will do the language services translator and this language understanding. So this is LUIS in the presentation. And finally some other services like speech, vision. So these are all the other services. So here if you plan to use a language thing, you can create a service. So when you are creating a service, so it will tell you this language services what and all you can use it. For example, the default features are sentiment analysis, key phrase extraction, question answering, conversational language understanding, named entity, text summarization. So these are all the features, default features for this language services. So if you are going to create it, by creating this thing, you can use it for other thing. But always what I do, instead of creating single service, for example, one for language service, one for translator, one for language understanding, instead of that, they itself giving a multi-purpose service thing, that I will always prefer, because I don't need to change a key or the link for each and everything. So always I prefer to go with multi-purpose, but there is a one place we need to create a separate one. Say for example, you are more constrained on cost. For example, department wise you are using services. Say you are using some services for one department, so every month you have to send the cost and all those things. In that case you can go with service specific thing itself. For example, if you want to create a language service, you can go with this translator, you can create it. So far, this Azure ML is supporting 90 languages, different languages like Spanish, German, and like other languages. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a multi-purpose cognitive service account. So in this, I'm going to use for my Python integration and Power BI integration. So the resource group, I already created Azure session 1. So if you remember in the presentation, I mentioned the Azure services available in different geographies or regions. So whether you want Australia or so here, India also there, you can select it. So as I already created, I will just show it how I created. So for example, if I'm giving the name as AA900 and just I'm creating as a standard S0. So this I already created, so it's not allowing. There are some limitation in the naming convention also. Just follow it. So once you are done it, you don't need to change any other properties. For example, identity or tags, you can go with the default thing itself. So once you are done, you can just review and create. It will create it. So as I have already created, I'm not creating here. So I will just show you what I created. Say for example, Azure Session 1, Cognitive Services, Multi-Service Account, I already created. Sorry. So here if you see, it is active and I selected the location Central India, and the APIs I'm using it for all the cognitive services, and the pricing tier it's coming as a standard, and this is the endpoint. Always we need to pause the endpoint and keys in our integration. So you have to copy these two things. So for example, keys, they might be giving different keys. You can take any one, and also the endpoint. So this we are going to use it in each and every place. So to get some idea, so these are all the different services we have already seen, like decision, what and all there, language, speech, all these things. And the very good part and I like about Microsoft thing, so if you go down, whatever the services you are using, you can refer the documentation. Vice versa, you can take this Microsoft Learn. I would highly recommend you to take this course if you plan to learn anything in Azure. For example, if you want to learn some container services or Power BI or anything, so the material is very good. So they have given us a learning path thing. And also, for example, if you plan for AA900 certification, you can just search AA900. They will be showing you the clear path for AA900. What is the objective you are learning, and for what role it will be helpful. And they have segregated as a different topics. For example, what is the product option and the decision criteria, so all these things. So by completing this path, you will be knowing how to use AI services. So while creating the services itself, you can jump into the relevant learn courses as well. So this is very good part. So almost we are done. For example, we have logged in into Azure portal and created the resources and the cognitive services keys as well we created. So we are all set in terms of Azure end. So let's jump into the Python side. Maybe I'll see if any questions. Okay, like I have already loaded some of the comments. Say for example, so if you guys are familiar with Python, I'm just trying to get the working directory, and I have placed the comments already. So these comments I have taken from Microsoft Learn itself, because to give a better output. So in this example, I'm giving 5 different reviews. So it is for some hotel feedback. Say for example, the first review file name is review.txt. So good hotel and staff. So it is about the hotel, Royal Hotel London, and the clean rooms, good service. So this is about the overall feedback, the customer feedback. And also I have a different reviews, some positive or negative. So all these things I have. Okay. So I'm going to use these comments for this session. Okay. Now, if you remember in the Azure portal, I have mentioned we need to take the key and the endpoint, right? So this I am taking in this Jupyter notebook. So this is the cognitive services key. I'm using it under the endpoint. So this is generated by the Azure portal. So that's it. I have created some API services and I have copied for my integration. Okay. So sorry. So the services are ready to use. So like in the NLP introduction, I mean, if you are not using Azure ML, I was installing some packages, right? For example, NLTK or scikit-learn. So similar way, for using Azure ML also, we need to install certain packages. So here I have installed two libraries. One is Azure AI Text Analytics Library. So this will be useful to do the sentiment analysis and other thing. And the next one is Azure Cognitive Services. So this is to use the key and validating the endpoint and all. So I have installed these two packages in Jupyter Notebook, and I'm going to use it. So if anyone is trying on your own, let me know. I will share the code as well. Probably I plan to put it in GitHub and share it after the session. Okay. So once that is done, the first experiment we are going to do is language detection. So in language detection, so you are giving some comment and it will tell which language it is. So for that, the same, I'm using a text analytics client package from this cognitive services. This is to validate the key, and the authentication one also I'm using it. So this both for validating the Azure services one. Okay. Then I'm just passing the key and all into the variable. Now whatever the reviews in the beginning I was showing, right, I was having 5 reviews. So that 5 reviews I'm passing into this variable, and I'm trying to detect the language for it. Okay, let me run it. Okay, 1 minute. Maybe the session got just 1 minute. Maybe 1 minute. I'll just close the session and open it. Sorry. Sorry, 1 minute. just installing those two packages. And also I have called the reviews to this Jupyter notebook. I just pointed out these reviews to this notebook, and I have used the keys as well. Yeah, so these are all the packages, two packages installing the libraries. Yep, it is done. So now let me run this thing. Yeah. So here, as I mentioned, I have called the respective packages, and also I'm passing the cognitive service keys. I have already given it in the top, and I'm just recalling it, and I'm accessing the reviews. Then I'm in this. I'm using the service called detected language. So if it is a detected language, I'm giving it the language name and the language code and what is the confidence score. Say for example, the review one, it is in English and the code is EN English and the confidence is 1.0. So for example, this is the first review. So all it's completely in English. Okay, so the purpose of this, when you are doing some topic modeling, if you need to know the language, so which language it is useful. However, in Azure ML, the sentiment analysis, we don't need to bother, because even if it is in other languages, as it is supporting multiple languages, it will take care. But we can use this service for some of our requirement. Say for example, you are running a employee engagement survey or employee engagement feedback from your organization, and your organization is in different geographies, it's a global company, so there is a possibility you may get a different language coming from other language. So you need to do some analysis on it. So by using these services, you can translate the comment for better understanding or analysis. So that is what we are trying here. Okay, say for example, the next example. So the above, based on the topic, I mean the stored review, I have taken the language. So here just I'm giving it in the text itself. Say for example, I'm giving it in Tamil, so it is deducting as a Tamil. So in this way, we can use the language detection service. So this is one service from Azure ML. So we haven't done much. We just created the Azure services in Azure portal, and we have selected the keys and endpoints, and we installed certain packages, and we are directly using it in our Jupyter notebook. So here we can easily integrate this into our applications as well. As Azure ML, it's language independent. For example, if you can integrate in some of your Java application, you can take this and you can easily integrate it. That is the best part about Azure ML. Okay, so the next one, the next service which we are using it, so detect personally identifiable information, so it's PAI. For example, you have some information, for example, so this article you can refer it, they have clarified in detail. Say for example, so far this PAI supporting these languages only, like sentiment analysis or language detection supporting multiple languages, but this PAI supporting less languages only. So you have to be familiar with the available or supported languages or what services are available. So always you have to be updated with the documentation. So this service very helpful in terms of, say for example, you are doing some web scraping. So for example, you are scraping some multiple sites. In it you need to do some analysis. So there, which is person or person type or phone number, which is address, which is email. So by using this service, easily you can get the information. Say for example, you have what I can say, paragraph, n number of paragraphs. In it easily you can get these details. So these are all the available informations, and on a weekly or monthly basis they are updating the package. So probably next time they may add some other thing also. Let's explore how we are using PAA. So the keys are already referenced, so we don't need. So here I'm just giving a information. For example, Ingram Micro SSC, my company, and the location I'm giving it, and it is in the place which tower it is located, and some information from Wikipedia about my company. Okay, maybe it has a big one. Let me remove something. Okay, so when I'm pausing it, I haven't done much. I'm just calling this services. So the service name PAA. So here, client dot recognize PAA entities. In that, I'm just passing my document. Okay, and I have given the language as English. So here, after passing it, for example, Ingram Micro India SSC Private Limited, the category coming as an organization, and the confidence score is zero point 0.9. So when the confidence score is high, you can trust the result. So when you are doing manually the modeling and all, for adding these things and all, you have to add multiple lines of code. But in Azure ML, you can easily get this information. And what is the length of the text? It's not required. And the next one is Chennai Central Square, Gindi Industrial Estate. So this category coming as address, and the confidence score is 0.92. And finally, this is also address, just it's segregated, but the confidence score got reduced. So in this way we can easily get the personal information, based on the documentation, for example URL or date time. Say for example, let's give some URL in that link. For example, I'm just trying to give quick info as well. So here, if you see, when I'm giving the quick info, the category coming as a URL. So definitely this service will be very useful when you are doing some web scraping, or you are processing, for example, some companies are doing that processing. So they are doing the sales orders in PDF. So the PDF files may have invoice number, the value and product, all those information. Maybe you need to do analysis based on that PDF. So once you extract the text from PDF, you can use this service to get the information, and you can convert your data into valuable insights. So in this way, this is very useful. And also I have passed some text from Wikipedia as well, so it's similar. So Ingram Micro, it's coming as an organization. So Micro D Inc, was our company old name. So this is also coming as a organization category, and it started on 1979. So it is a date time. It is started by husband and wife, so that's why it's coming as a person type. uh, like teachers, so this is also coming as a person type. 1 minute. Okay, I guess this is useful and interesting one to you guys. Okay, okay, let me see any questions. Okay, I don't see any questions. I will jump into the session. Okay, so the next one we are going to explore is a key phrase extraction. So key phrase, as we already discussed, we have some sentence in it. What are all the key phrases? Sorry, we are getting it. So for that, I'm just using the text analytics key phrase one, and I'm passing the documents to it. Okay, let me run it. Okay, so for example, I'm just trying to get the key phrases from review one. Maybe if you want, I will open the reviews also. Okay, it's already in the notebook itself. So good hotel, good service, clean rooms. So if you remember in the review one, so this is the review one. clean rooms, good service, great location near Buckingham Palace, Westminster Abbey. So this is location. So this information we have, right? So in this, I'm trying to get the key phrases. So good hotel, royal hotel, great location. So these and all coming as a key phrases. So this I can use it for my analysis. So similar way, whatever the reviews I have given, for that it is giving me the key phrases. Okay, so this is another example, I mean another service. So maybe the previous one from my review, let me take it from, I will give us a text and it will, this is another example. Maybe I will take something from Cricinfo itself. Probably this is from some Ranji series. Okay, we'll take some Saurashtra and some match is going on. We'll take that text. Let me pass into the document. Okay, so let me run it. It will show me what is the key phrases from that sentence. So the regular India A player, Saurashtra fast bowler. The name is Abhimanyu Ishwaran, test Bengal batter. So these are all the key phrases from this sentence. Maybe Jaydev Udankat. Okay, yeah, that is also there. So in this way, when you are having multiple lines of sentences, or you need to get some key phrases, you can use these services. And as we discussed earlier, you can easily integrate in your existing application, and you can make your application intelligent by having by adding 3-4 lines of code. Okay. And I have some references as well. Yeah. So the next one is we are going to see is sentiment analysis and opinion mining. So the difference between sentiment analysis and opinion mining is 1 minute. Yeah. So the difference is sentiment analysis. For example, I'm passing a sentence. The room was great, but the staff was unfriendly. So when I'm getting a sentiment analysis, it will give me the output as negative sentiment, because uh, I see I do have some negative statements. But instead of using sentiment analysis, if I'm using opinion mining, the sentiment, I mean the whatever the feedback I'm getting, it will be segregated by subject. Say for example, here we have two different subject, one is room and the other one is staff. In opinion mining, we will get room is great, sentiment is positive, and staff is unfriendly, so which is negative. So based on your requirement, you can choose whether to go with sentiment analysis or opinion mining. In Azure ML, we have both the services. You can use you can use it based on your requirement. Okay. Okay, let me jump into that. And also, as I already mentioned, the documentation are very clear, and the community also very good. Probably you can easily get your doubts or anything, easily you can get it clear. Okay, so now let's jump into sentiment analysis. So sentiment analysis, I'm just calling that package text analytics sentiment, and I'm passing my documents. I was having 5 reviews, right? I'm just passing it. And here I'm just classifying one thing. I'm getting the score from this model, and if the score is less than zero point 0.5, I'm tagging as a negative, otherwise it is positive. So in this sentiment thing, I'm just getting negative or positive. So when I'm running it, so the first review is positive. Maybe already we saw first and two, maybe let's see fourth one. Fourth one, it came as a negative. Let's see the fourth review. So the fourth review is hotel is located in Lombard Street, which is very busy, 6-lane street directly off to. So traffic from early morning. So it means it is noise, and if it is in traffic one, you may not enjoy the location. So because of that, it is coming as a negative one. So for this review, the sentiment is coming as a negative. 1 minute. Okay, so this is one way. And the next one is, this is from the reviews which I paused. So if you want to, sorry. So if you want to pass something directly, you can use this code. So this is also example for opinion mining. So in the previous slide, I shown about sentiment analysis and opinion mining, right? So here I have used opinion mining. So in it, I'm just pausing the document. Then I'm just analyzing the sentiment. Here I'm just pausing opinion mining is true. By default, opinion mining will not be active. You just need to pause it as a true. Then I'm just processing the reviews. And here I'm giving some positive, neutral, negative based on the scores. Okay. So once that is done, the overall document sentiment is negative. So this is the sentiment analysis. And the overall score is negative only, I'm getting it. But in terms of the opinion mining, the sentence is, I'm really exhausted. So this is also coming as a negative. And in this way, you can do it. So here, for example, opinion mining, it is coming as a separate sentence. I can't operate with a key. It is coming as a negative. The negative score is more. And also, this is best work at test, for example. So this is coming as a positive. So in this way, you can do opinion mining as well. So opinion mining, it's very useful when you have more than one sentences. And depends on your requirement, you can choose sentiment analysis or opinion mining. Okay. Uh, okay. Yeah, Vishwas. Yeah, definitely, Vishwas. We can create a session to cover cognitive services on Docker. We'll do it. And how about if we pass a CSV file contains uh, text description instead of a single text? Yeah, I will touch upon that as well, Sai. So for that, I'm going to use the Azure services itself. So we can run Azure ML thing. I will show it to you. I will demo it. And also I'm using CSV file in Power BI as well. I will explain those two. How about real-time streaming data? Yes, yes. That is also I'm going to cover, Chaitanya. So in Power BI example, the streaming data, how we can solve it, I will show you an example. Sorry. Okay. So probably so far we have covered about the language detection service, key phrase extraction, and sentiment analysis and opinion mining. So let's jump into the entity extraction. So this is also like topic generation only. For example, I'm just pausing the entities thing here in the text analytics service. As usual, I'm pausing the documents. So when I'm running it, it will give me the thing. If you remember, in PAI, we have used, it was giving organization and all, right? Similar way, in entity extraction also, we are getting it. For example, in review one, the Royal Hotel, it is location. So if you remember, we was doing some Bing search and all, right? Search services. Here, we have activated that as well. It is nothing but it is just getting that data from Wikipedia, nothing more. And the London, this is also location, and date and time. On this day they stayed in that hotel, so it is coming as a date and time. And the location, Buckingham Palace, so this is also location. And what are all the other places mentioned, it is coming as a location. The difference between entity extraction and PAA is, in PAA we have more information. For example, phone number, even some detail like 1 minute, it is sorry. So for example, the Swift code, When you're doing a foreign transaction, you need Swift code or credit card information. So these informations and all, you can get it. And maybe I missed to say it. So when you are using these services and all, Microsoft is having some rules. Maybe it's not rules, some best thing to follow. So it's a responsible. For example, when you are integrating these cognitive services, you should give a note to the users that we are accessing these informations. Are you fine with it? So maybe what is the transparency note to each services? When you have time, just go through this as well. It is just to what to say, actionable, not actionable actually, responsible. What is the responsible for using these services? So that thing, as a developer or as a user, we need to know. Okay. So this is about the entity extraction. So entity extraction, we have limited thing. Okay, so this is also done. Okay, maybe this is another interesting example. I'm just pausing. I love Italian food, especially pizza. I had last week in Chennai. So this is also another example. So here it is giving me the category and subcategory and all. For example, Italian, it is coming as a skill because it's a language. And food, it is a product under the subcategory none. However, last week coming as a date time, and subcategory it's date range. So last week's particularly. And also it is giving the confidence score also. For example, food as a product, the confidence score is 0.46. Generally we use the confidence score is greater than zero point 0.7, and depends on the situation. It is completely on the business judgment. Okay, so this is about the entity extraction. So by using it, you can easily integrate this into your application. And finally, the language understanding. So this is LUIS, it was in the presentation. So probably we'll see an interesting demo. Okay, so this LUIS, it is working in both the way, which is text and voice. Let's see it. Okay, you can play with this demo as well. Let me put it into the chat. Okay, so it is like you are passing the information to some of your application. So probably you are working on some IoT thing. So you are working on the smart home project. So by switching on or switching off light, you are using these services. So if I enable mic, it will work on voice. If I didn't, it will be based on text. So for example, I'm just passing it to my smart home. I'm just telling it's time to go sleep. I'm going to sleep. I'm just passing this text. So when I'm doing it, automatically my living room got all the lights are got off by passing this thing. Okay, maybe I'm telling it's too dark to work here. I'm just telling that. So when I'm doing it, my workroom got more lights. Okay, so it is like you are passing some text, automatically the topic is getting generated, and it is passing the thing to the IoT device. Maybe let me, yeah, maybe go to energy saver mode. By switching on, most of the lights got off. Okay, maybe the another, I'm expecting some gust. So when I'm passing this feedback, the outside light will get on. So this is the good example the Microsoft is given. So you can play around with that link by using voice or text. Okay, so that is about the language understanding. And finally, we are into the translating text. So this is similar to I'm passing some text to the service, and it is giving me the translation, whether I need it in for example, I'm passing some French text, and it is giving me in English or some other language, it will give. So this is also another one service. Sorry. So Here I'm just using that path, this cognitive service translator, and the keys and all I'm just passing it. Here, for example, I have created a function translate text. Here I have used the location keys and other things, and I'm using Microsoft Translator Services API. And this key and location from that Azure service. Uh, then I'm just calling this function into my translation. Say, for example, here the text to translate is I'm just translating translate itself. Here, this has to translate to French. The from language is English. Let me run it. Okay, 1 minute. I didn't define the cognitive location. Sorry, the location of the service. Yeah, so the translate it is coming. Maybe let's pause some other information so that we can test it. So instead of translate, I'm just pausing a big one. So I need to translate this to French. For example, by using this service, I have translated this sentence. But even though some of the text are not translated properly, Saurashtra fast bowler, the name itself coming. But if you see some places, it got translated to French. So we can use this service. And also, this is another example. So from Italian to English, maybe English here I have given Great Britain, UK English. Here from Chinese, sorry, from English, US English to Chinese. This is just to show you some demo. I'm giving some language that it is getting translated. And here another example, Hindi, I'm giving it, so it is getting translated in English. So this is about the different services so far. Maybe we have covered the 4 or 5 services in Azure ML. If there are any questions, I'm open to answer. Once that is done, I will jump into Power BI and the Azure things. Okay. So far, no questions. Maybe I will jump into the Power BI integration. So Power BI integration, what I have done, this data also I have copied from Microsoft, but I'm not very good at UI. However, I try to create some report, because if I'm showing only the sentiment thing, it may not be useful. So I just created a few demo pages. For example, this is about Tailspin Toys. It's a famous US brand for kids, and we have the information about their sales and their region specific data and some comments and all. Okay, so for example, so I have the comments. I will directly jump into that because the other information will leave it. So here I have some IDs and the email IDs. For example, each customer we have the email ID. For that we have some details. So insufficient packaging, and they have some comment. I ordered 3 widgets last week and just received them. I'm very disappointed. For example, these informations are there. Probably I have already added the sentiment language, key phrases and all. Let me delete it. I believe if you have some basic understanding in Power BI, it will be very good. Editing the data and uh, playing with the data modification and all. So in the comments, let me remove these 3 fields. Okay, and also let me remove this also, or let it be. I will show you how I have added. Okay, so this is very good one. Soy or someone was asking, right? If we have a live data, the streaming data, how we can do it, or you are having a different languages, it's a global report, how you can work on the sentiment analysis. This is very good, and you don't need to spend more than 10 minutes. Within 5 minutes you can integrate it easily. Okay. One minute. Okay. So far I have some data: subject insufficient package. I have some comment from the customer and some spam score, votes, NPS nothing but net promoter score. So these information, this customer is a promoter or detractor, maybe we'll talk about that later. So the first thing I need to do, just go to data, and in data you can just go to the transform data option. So once you go there, you have to select a new source. Okay. One minute. So first I'm selecting a new source. So here you just need to select a blank query. So in the blank query you are going to call the Azure ML service. So once it is done, in the Jupyter notebook itself, I have taken that Power BI integration code. So this say 10 lines of code is sufficient for you to create the setup. So here I'm just passing the API key and the endpoint thing. So the endpoint from the Azure service, we got it, the API key and the endpoint, and I'm just getting the text as a JSON, and I'm detecting the language. Then I'm just doing the key phrases. I'm getting the key phrases and I'm giving back to the report. So this is to get the key phrases, and the next one is to get the sentiment thing, whether it is positive or negative. So here the only difference is in this endpoint. Here I'm using key phrases to get the topics. Similar way, to get the sentiment, I'm just pausing the sentiment. And also the final one, I'm just pausing language. So the language code you will be getting. So these three things I'm going to use it in Power BI. The only thing, you just copy it. Here you update your API key and you update your domain. That's it. You can take this. For example, you can just take this code and you can just go to the advanced editor. So here let in source, the input and output source, you can just replace this with this one. So the text let you are allowing, and you are returning into key phrases. So here you have already updated the API key and the endpoint. That's it. So these things I have already created. So this is the key phrase one. If you see the same code, I didn't change anything here. Only thing, I just passed the API key and endpoint. So that's it. And I am taking the key phrases. So similar way, I created another one source, the blank query. In it, I am just calling the sentiment code, which I shown in the Jupyter notebook. So here I have just added, and finally the language code as well. So this is also it is in the Jupyter, and I have called that in the advanced editor. So that's it, I'm done. I have called the Azure services in the data mode, the data edit mode. Now I'm just saving it. So I have created 3 services in my Power BI. So now what should I do? Just go to the data. So here it's nothing but I didn't delete that query, so it's came here. So I have the comment here, maybe one blank also there. Okay, fine. So that's it. Now what I should do, again, just you go to the transform data mode. So here in the Power BI, you can have option add column. just go to add column, select the comments field, comments table. So this is the table, we need sentiment analysis. So here there is a option called invoke custom function. So I'm just clicking invoke custom function. So here, so this is for my key phrase example. So this column is getting me the key phrase thing, and the query, I have already created a function, that Azure service function, right? For that I'm calling the key phrase. So from which field I need to get the key phrase? So I need it from command field. Okay, I'm just giving okay. So the first one got created. So that's it. So I just call the services, and from the doc comment, I'm getting the key phrases. Now let me create the sentiment thing also. So I'm creating a sentiment. Here I'm calling that function query sentiment. Same from comment column, I need the sentiment thing. Sorry. Okay, so this is another thing. And finally, let me call the language as well. So I'm creating a column language, and I'm just calling the function query language. In this, this is also based on the comment. Based on comment column, which language it is, I need to know. So that's it. You are done. So based on this Azure ML services, you are able to get the key phrase as well as the sentiment. For example, this case, it is coming as a mixed, here negative, mixed, neutral, in this way it is coming. And also languages. So for sample purpose, I have already paused some German Italian text. For example, so in the comment column, if you see, I have paused some German or Italian text. So in your user defined models, you need to translate the text, then you need to do the sentiment thing. But some packages like Stanford NLP and all will support other languages as well. But in Azure ML, you don't need to bother about anything. It just taken the respective language, German, and it taken the key phrase from it, and also Italian or Spanish. So these things we got it. Okay, maybe one example I thought to give. While we was doing manual sentiment analysis, how we will do the translation using Google translation services, then get the topic generation. And when we are creating a report, we are unable to give the comment, the key phrases in respective language. We used to give in English, but when you are using Azure ML, you can give the topics also in their respective language itself. So that's it. We are done. Now just you can go to home, and you can give close and apply. We may get one error because of the one blank, but we can skip that. Maybe I have went a bit fast and all to cover all the topics. Even I thought it's a 2 hour session, so that's why I have added a Power BI integration also. Luckily, we are almost done with the session. This one error because of that blank, we will skip it. It's not a problem. Okay, now let's go to the report. This is some demo I created in the past for Power BI session. So I just integrated that sentiment analysis also in this report itself. Okay, so it's just a sample. I have NPS, which is Net Promoter Score. So if we have more promoter, it is good, and we should convert the detractor to passive or passive to promoter. It will increase our business, and we are giving a very good customer experience to the customers. And sentiment also, because I have deleted those things. That's why it's coming. 1 minute. So I have already created a word cloud visualization here. Maybe word cloud, it's very simple one, but for this session, I thought it's sufficient. So here I'm just calling the sentiment in the category. Oh, sorry. The sentiment I have already called in the filter. Just I will take the key phrase one. I'm just taking the key phrase into the category. The word cloud is getting generated. So this key phrases we got through Azure ML, and also we are getting each keyword or key phrase, how many times it's mentioned by having the hover. So the good part of this, I need to know, say I have customers or I have business, whether this is told in a positive or negative way. So by selecting the positive sentiment, so I can get that key phrases. For example, the customer said in a positive way for customers, or power, brochures, maybe brochures are good, or response is good. So in that way you can take it. So maybe if you need to know the negative sentiment, so the ABC, it's a company name, maybe they are having negative about the company. For a testing purpose I given like this, and also some like this you can have your analysis. And also the another part is out promoter, say promoter, it's very important to the company. So promoters have some negative about the company which is not good, so we need to take some action on it. So in this way we can integrate Azure ML services into Power BI. And the purpose of it, the customer feedback analysis, it is helping us to get the insights about the customer's requirement or pain points and all, by doing the sentiment analysis. Like in the Power BI we seen, right? So which topic they have problem or which topic they are happy. So by knowing it, proactively you are improving the customer satisfaction and reducing the churn. It is always good to reduce the churn, so that instead of getting a new customer, we can have the old customer, which is a good part for any company. And finally, by having these things, you can create a benchmark. For example, 2020, what is your sentiment score, and whether it is improved or decreased. So those things also, by having this future, you can do it. And also you can go in detail. So department wise sentiment, or country or region wise sentiment, segment wise sentiment. So all these things you can do. So this is about the customer feedback analysis using the sentiment analysis. And finally, I have some reference links where to start. As I already mentioned, you can go with Microsoft Learn itself, and some Azure ML thing also there. Okay. And one thing I should tell you, every month Microsoft is giving some virtual trainings as well. Maybe US or UK, India also you are giving. So if you are enrolling it, you will get the free certification also. So that is in terms of Azure fundamentals or AI fundamentals. So this will be say 1 or 2 day session. By attending it, you will get the certification voucher as well. Probably I will pass it in the chat, make use of it. Probably I have one more thing to give demo. Before that, I will see the questions. Okay, this I can ignore. Yeah, Chaitanya, the same thing you created a function sentiment language in Power BI using Azure ML service can also be done without Azure ML. Yes, yes, Chaitanya. We was doing that also. In Power BI, there is an option to call Python query or R query. For example, Python visual or R visual, right? 1 minute. So for example, if you are comfortable in Python, actually currently I have disabled it. So what you have to do, you have to create your model, everything in Python query, and you can use this script editor to enter the Python. So automatically the sentiment analysis will work. So we have used that also, but it depends on your company laptop settings. You may get some error on installing certain packages and all, so that you should have the admin access. Okay, I guess I covered your question, Chaitanya. The one more thing I thought of showing, if you guys have time, I will go on, or we will wind up the session. So that is on the real time data, Chaitanya or Sai asked it, right? Maybe one example I can show here. For example, we have comments here. Okay, so 1 minute. Okay, so if you see here, comments, we was having some 50 comments or 49 comments earlier, right? So you are linked this with your SQL server or some Azure data thing, Azure blob or something you have connected. So this data is updating frequently. For example, okay, so let me copy 10 more results. Okay, so here I just give. So this you just treat it as a test. I mean your streaming data. I'm just saving it here in the comments. I'm just refreshing the data. So when you are refreshing it, for example, if you see email address till 1126 only, it is there, right? So if it is a streaming data, automatically it will get update, and the sentiment will get generate automatically. Here it is running the Azure ML service. Okay, maybe it's because in the data model I have used only 50 customers. It is because of that, but it will work actually. If you have maybe if time permits, I'll open another one thing. So their streaming data also it will support. Okay, so probably that's all about my session. Maybe I'm open for questions, and please do let me know any questions or feedback as well. Dinesh, okay, maybe I'll stop sharing screen. I'm open for questions.
Okay. Uh, so let me post Chaitanya's question. Are you able to see this?
Yes, Dinesh, I'm able to see. Okay, so all these like entity extraction, detect PA can also done without Azure. Yes, definitely Chaitanya. Without Azure ML also we can do, but you should be well versed with the data. As I mentioned, the training data set and all those things should be good. Certain packages are there. By installing it, you can do it. Yes. So the industry, for example, slowly we are moving into Azure ML or AWS ML. Uh, when we have less data, we are good with open source technologies itself. And if you are creating some pipelines and all, by having auto ML is good. So it will help you to implement your setup without any code. Sure, Chaitanya. We can plan one session on how industry is using this thing. Maybe without cognitive services also we can have it. Probably I request you guys to give feedback about this session. Let me post one question about it. Okay, and also I'm open for questions. Chaitanya. Yeah, definitely, Chaitanya. I will share the notebook. Probably I will share it to Dinesh so that they will keep it in the meetup thing. Also, I will update in my GitHub as well. I guess the session is helpful. Dinesh, I shared the link to you to give. Okay, yep. Thank you, Imran.
Now, Navaneethan, Sai has asked the question I posted.
Yeah, what are the latest? Actually, uh, recent days I see more from Hugging Face. So Hugging Face is giving lots of things. Probably like Amazon or Walmart. So like wherever we are receiving more customer comments, so there we are using this sentiment analysis or the text analytics more. As far I know, I heard about Hugging Face. Okay. Sure, Chaitanya. Maybe in future we will plan it. Have because 2 hour session itself we thought it's a lengthy one, but luckily we covered it up. Thank you, Chaitanya. Yes, Kiran. Actually, the session is for beginners. We created the content to for the beginner level. Probably this will help you for the starting point. Maybe we can have intermediate and advanced session as well.
Thanks, Kiran, Chaitanya, and Imran for posting your feedback. And yes, we can have one more session with Navaneethan, I hope. Probably a bit advanced and also on a hands-on without using the explicit cloud services. That also would be a great comparison. So how can we do it without pre-built services, and also how can we do it by raw coding? Uh, we can plan it very soon. Navaneethan.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Actually, Dinesh, to give some context, nowadays many things are happening. For example, the recent problem and all, we was working like we was doing some finding some new leads and all. So when you are finding a leads, you need to do the company comparison and all. So for that, we are using some cosine similarity. I mean, generally in SQL or Excel, they use fuzzy match. So we are using that for text analytics. There are interesting case studies, and the disadvantage in using your customized ML model, the training data set may not be sufficient. For example, using my training data set, due to the privacy, I cannot share it with others. However, Microsoft is taking care that and they are giving it. So when we are using Azure ML, the accuracy will be good. That's it.
Yeah. I think due to certain factors like time to
Yes,
roll out and
correct.
the data privacy, all these things matters of choosing a pre-built service like Azure ML or do it on your own machine
Customized
learning.
one.
Yeah,
Exactly true. Like at the end, the business is more focused on ROI. For example, if you're running a project nowadays, I feel data science projects also coming into ROI specific thing. And I knew few companies are using Scrum thing in data science projects as well. So at the end, probably month end or year end, you are answerable for the ROI. So if you are using your customized thing, there is a possibility you may not get the model accuracy or results. So so companies or industries are moving towards auto ML as well.
and
Yep,
similarly, the other side of the sword is if you burn too many costs and there is no insights, then again that also would be a question. So it becomes the person like you should decide whether to go for a ready-made service or do it on your own.
correct,
And
true,
the important thing is you have to convince the stakeholders, whichever the decision you're taking it for the right cause.
true.
Okay. Sai, probably as Navaneethan told, he would share to me, and also maybe Navaneethan might upload it to his GitHub repo or something which he has, and I'll post it in the meetup link once we have it, Sai. So I think you will receive a notification too. And it's very pleasant to see people attending a live session patiently by sitting at home, because we face too many distractions while we are at home, right? But beyond that, spending the time, valuable time, attentively will really give a focused learning, definitely.
Definitely,
uh,
Dinesh, that too for 2 hours.
yeah. Okay. And if there is there any other questions, guys, probably we can wait one more minute, so that Navanitan could answer. Chaitanya is interested to continue, but Navanitan already he has cuffed for two, three, and fourth time. Okay.
Thank you, Chaitanya. Thanks for. I will take it as a feedback, and thanks for that. And thank you, guys. Thanks for spending your weekend time with us, and it means a lot. Definitely, I will come up with more sessions with interesting topics, like as per your ask. We'll plan it in the future. And thanks, Dinesh, for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, Navanitan, too, so for presenting such a detailed demo. I think everything came out of your experience, not from the textbook. So that is very good to see. And even Sai would like to know industry case study from problem statement till deployment. I think the next advanced session could be around something like this. Maybe. One problem statement which you might have got, and how did you inferred it? What are the stages it has passed? What was the POC you did? And finally how it was it went well, something like that.
Sure, sure, Dinesh. We'll plan it. Thank you, Chaitanya.
Yes, Imran, we'll check it out for a speaker from the industry perspective for Terraform. Yeah. Okay. I think we are out of questions. And Navneet, do you want to give any final words?
No, Dinesh, I already thanked the participants and you. I'm good. We'll
Okay.
plan for
Chaitanya
some.
has one question. What is that? I think it's to you.
Sure. Actually, the problem is when we are talking about the data scraping and all, it comes with some privacy thing, and also something is like we cannot reveal in public. So we have to find some cases like that, and we'll create a session. Probably, I would like to know about Sai or Chaitanya, because are you guys are working, or you guys are student? Because I just need to know. For example, if I know your company, from your company itself, I can tell you some case study. That's the reason I'm asking. If you are a student, we can have an offline discussion.
Yeah, I think Chaitanya and Sai, you can check out Navaneethan via
Yes.
LinkedIn or Twitter.
Yeah,
Do
definitely.
message, and uh, yeah, Chaitanya is
Okay.
working.
Okay. Sure, Chaitanya. Maybe we can connect it offline, and we can have a discussion about it. I'm open to have a discussion.
And thanks a lot, guys. If possible, just post do a post in social media tagging Navaneethan and maybe myself, and share your feedback with the in that post about the session. It will keep us motivated to do more sessions, and share our knowledge too. Yeah, thank you. Okay,
Sure. Thank you,
so
guys.
the broadcast, guys. Thanks a lot. See you in the next session. Bye.